The truth is, you can make tons and tons of friends even if you're boring. You just need to know the right way to talk to people to get them interested in you. So in this video, I'm going to show you one simple trick that you can use in literally your next conversation to make people excited to see you again and leave them wishing that you would be their friend. So I've had tons of conversations with friends, co-workers, family members, even strangers, and a lot of the time I hear them say one thing, that they think I'm so interesting to talk to. At first it's something that I didn't really get, but when I started to think back to these conversations, I realized that I was doing one simple thing that made this happen again and again. I was acting and imagining as if I was a journalist, trying to uncover the story about the person in front of me, who they are, what their life is like, what makes them tick, what decisions they made to lead them to be the person right in front of me. In all the conversations that went well, where people said I was interesting to talk to, that is what I did. And I think it's something you should do too. Because when we do that, we make people feel like there's somebody worth listening to. We make them feel interesting. This is a feeling that everybody wants to feel. I mean, look at you. You are watching a video right now about how to be more interesting. And if when you are talking to people in your conversations, you can make them feel like they're somebody worth listening to, they are going to be so excited to see you again and so excited to be your friend, regardless of how boring you are. So these are the 4 exact things that I say and do in conversations to seem interested and in turn seem more interesting to people. So the first is you want to ask open-ended questions. You want to avoid questions that can be answered with a simple yes or no. These questions generally have the words who, what, why, when, where, and how. And you can use them to just start unearthing, start digging into who this person is. So examples of these questions are things like, where do you work? What do you do for fun? How did you get into that hobby? When you start using these instead of simple yes or no's like, do you like the weather? You are going to get into more understanding of who the person is, what they enjoy, and how you guys can connect. The second thing I like to do is to use follow-up questions. Remember, you're like a journalist, so you want to dig deeper if you don't get the answers you're looking for. Oftentimes, what people will do when you ask them a question is they'll give just a surface level answer. For example, if you ask someone what they like to do for fun, they might just say, I like video games. A lot of people would just leave it there and then go on to another topic, but not you. You're a journalist. So what you're gonna do is ask a follow-up question. And what that could look like is, what types of video games do you play? Who do you play them with? What got you into gaming? These are things that take you from just the surface level and go a little bit deeper. And taking conversation to this level is going to be a lot more refreshing to the person because most people just stay at the surface, but you are going to stand out because you ask them more about the things they're actually into, which means that they're going to want to spend more time with you too. The third thing I do is to actively listen. And remember, you're trying to genuinely learn more about the person, and you should be letting them know that you're genuinely trying to know. And how you do that is to listen actively. So what I mean by that is making eye contact and looking at them when they're talking. Nodding your head when you hear them say things that you agree with. Another thing I like to do is give reactions to the things they're saying. Saying, oh wow, when they say something surprising. Or saying, oh I see, when they're trying to explain something. These sort of words, these small little things help the person realize, oh, this person is listening to me, and it makes them feel so much more comfortable to keep talking. And the fourth thing, and the thing I think is the most important, is I like to build off what they are saying and relate it back to my own life and what I actually think. Remember, as much as you're a journalist, this is still a conversation. So you don't want to just pepper this person with questions because they're just going to feel like it's a job interview. That's not the vibe we're going for. So you want to be able to share and give your own perspective. And I think a lot of people are scared of disagreeing with the person and they end up just agreeing to everything they say. That's not what you should do. You should be authentic, you should be honest, and it is okay if you disagree. You just don't want to argue, right? You want to still keep it positive. So an example of that might be if the person says that they like video games, you can say, I'm not that into video games, but I've always wanted to get into them and I could totally see how you like them. Me, I like to go on hikes. Have you been on any around the area? When you disagree like that, you're still sharing your authentic thoughts, but you're acknowledging that you might like something else, and that's okay. A good rule of thumb is to aim to talk for 40% of the time and aim for them to talk for 60% of the time. So if you're in a 5-minute conversation, you're talking for 2 minutes, they're talking for 3. At the end of the day, the most important part about making friends is making people feel seen, making them feel understood, and sharing parts of yourself with them. If you can do that, you will be making friends in no time. By the way, I have a ton of other tips about how to make new friends and seem more interesting, and I'm going to unpack those in future videos that come out. So if you want to see those, make sure that you like and subscribe to make sure you know when they're posted. I hope that you have an amazing day. I hope that you use these tips in your next conversation, and above all else, I hope that you keep connecting. Take care and good luck.